A very good morning to you. Welcome to a press review this morning. How are you? How was your night? Sure you had a good night rest. Now that we are here, my name is Ijama Uche. We'll take a break and come back and then we'll start rolling. Welcome again. I have a public affairs analyst that has joined me this morning to look at the front pages of Nigerian newspapers. He is Oster Eze. Oster, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Good morning, Anambra.
Good to have you here. Okay. Let's look at the papers available to us now. We are beginning with this day newspaper. Okay, it's okay. But on top of that net template, lending rates to manufacturers rose from 28.6% to 35% in quarter 2 of 2024. Okay, that's the story on the name template. And then, but the banner headline here says, federal government approves implementation of zero duty VAT exemption on selected food items. Okay, I think that's all we're going to take from this paper. Do we still have another? Okay, let's look at the rider. The new policy takes effect today, and then expected to crash food prices. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. NSA attempts to disrupt peaceful conduct of a Doguba poll will be met with full force. Okay, that's all we're going to take from this paper now. Let's quickly look at the Punch newspaper. On the Punch newspaper, I have this headline that says, food crisis, military deploys troops in northwest, north central farms. And this is the best news I've heard this year, because sometimes you keep wondering as if they don't know what to do again. Let's look at the riders. Farmers Associations, Loud Tinubu say more will boost, move will boost harvest, and then tackle food insecurity. Deployment will grant farmers access to farms, ensure hitch-free planting season. This is coming from the Defense Headquarters. And down here, 149 Nigerians repatriated from Niger. Okay. Prices skyrocket as petrol scarcity buys harder is the story that is on top of the name templates. With the rider there, marketers blame supply shortage, and then NNPC keeps mum. All right, let's move over to Vanguard before we start talking. Vanguard newspaper. On top of the name template again, anger Greece reps speakers withdrawn counter subversion bill. Well, this one says outrage as Senator Sumala says he earns 21 million naira monthly Senate month, while other ones are telling us that earning 1 million naira. Sumala says he's earning 21 million naira. So you go and verify who is telling us the truth. But okay, let's keep rolling. The banner headline here says, hurdles ahead of CNG vehicles. Hurdles ahead of CNG vehicles rollout. Investigation is saying this, and let's see what they mean by that. Local mechanics, technicians are still with technology. Users still unsure of safety, and then massive awareness training lacking. You just wake up one morning and then dive into something that you have not really prepared for. Well, that's Nigeria's system anyway. Federal government zero duty grain imports terminates December 31st. And then we have taken action against Simon Ekpa's secessionist activities. This is coming from Finnish government. We have taken action against Simon Ekpa's secessionist activities coming from Finnish government. Okay. Any other story of interest? No. Okay, let's start talking.
Yeah.
Let's first of all look at this story from this day. Federal government approves, what is it now? Approves implementation of zero duty VAT exemption on selected food items. We're going to merge it with this other story that said that defense exporters said that they have sent troops to farms to guard farmers. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think the federal government is beginning to do the right thing with respect to food security. You know, for a very long time, people have been crying and pointing at the same thing, that the reason we're having insecurity in food is because there's insecurity in the farmlands, and that headers are taking advantage of the below average response of the security agencies to continue to plunder farmlands and ensure that farmers do not go about their activities, you know, in safety. So, but with these new developments of the federal government deploying military to these places where we know our food basket is, I'm sure that in no distant time, most of these food items, which actually form the staple food of our people across the country, would now be more available. I would have loved to also talk about this lending rate to manufacturing industries. Is quite on the high side. Just yesterday, I was discussing with somebody who is into international business, a Nigerian, and he was telling me, he was complaining bitterly of how Nigerian banks are becoming more, what word do I use for it?
Unfriendly.
Yeah, more mean
yes,
towards industrialists and every other person who's interested in doing legitimate business in Nigeria with the rate, the interest rate that they give to the people. So you find people paying, you know, a lot of money just because they borrowed some money from the bank, and at the end of the day, it affects their businesses. A lot of businesses are leaving Nigeria right now. A lot have left already, and I was even made to understand that many people who are into serious business are no longer interested in taking loans from Nigerian banks. They rather go to some other African countries to get loans. That's how bad it has really gotten. So I'm calling on the banking system, the CBN, to look into the rates that banks give for the moratorium that they give, the interest rates that they give for, you know, lending money to businesses, as it is one of the things that's really worsening our economic situation in Nigeria. So kudos to the federal government. I want more of that with respect to food security. Let more people be sent into the hinterlands, into the forest. We don't need persons of questionable character roaming in our forests and, you know, plundering our farmlands. Once we can take care of our food security, I believe that every other problem that is besieging Nigeria will be, you know, taken care of.
Okay, fine. And then, okay, you've joined the whole stories together, and that's cool. So let's move to the next paper and see if we can get other stories of interest. Daily Independence is the next paper. The Rep Speaker withdraws bill to criminalize free speech and others, whatever they mean by that. The writer says legal experts charge NAS on inclusive approach to lawmaking. And down here, NAS undermines RMFAC fixes huge pay for lawmakers. This is coming from article with the writer there. A senator gets 21 million naira monthly. Senator Smaila reveals. So why would they know whether that's food prices in Nigeria? 21 million naira monthly. So no matter the size of your family, there's no way you can consume 10 million naira on food. So they won't really feel what we are feeling. Other stories coming from this paper, the Daily Independence, no apology for criticizing Tinubu's policies. This is coming from Bauchi Governor. Security issues need government, society's approach. It's coming from Tinubu. Protesters scattered away Ganduje's corruption trial documents. This is coming from Governor Yusuf. Very funny story coming from Kano. Protesters did not know where to go again. They went straight to the court and scattered away documents filed for prosecuting Ganduje's corruption trial. It's so funny. 56.9% of under 5 children in Kano stunted. Oh, too bad. This is coming from UNICEF. And tribunal sacks PDP's Enugu House of Reps member Atiwe. Okay? Enugu PDP elects council chairmanship candidates across 17 local government areas, just as we are warming up to do our own election, local government election, on the 28th of September. Okay, Daily Trust is our next paper. Next paper in line is the Daily Trust. Let's look at the stories on top. Oh, okay, below, rightly below the name templates, hardship. Academic activities suffer as varsity students take menial jobs. Oh my God. Because they just have to survive. Most of them are just living at the mercies of their mama that is frying akara or selling tomatoes out there. Okay, why Jigawa tops in wheat cement production? Governor Namadi. African Union appoints Pantami as co-chair of 4th Industrial Revolution Policy Council. Pantami, what was he able to achieve for us? And then he's going regional. Okay, the banner headline here says, a senator's monthly pay hits 2 billion naira. Okay, put together. All right, and then each senator gets 21 million naira per month as running cost, and you cannot pay 100,000 naira to workers, Nigerian workers. But the senators that sit down to endorse whatever that comes from the executive, you pay them 21 million naira for doing nothing. Okay, Kuwa Somalia, who knows what that one is? Principal officers package still unknown. And then, okay, this one is just for the regular senator. And then there are principal officers who don't know what those ones are going home with. Adjust your earnings, giving masses realities. This is coming from Sarah, and then Yaga, and Shri said these are NGOs. Okay. Okay, other stories from this paper. Farmers express concerns as drought threatens plant growth. Let there be irrigation now. Water irrigation to water everywhere. We can do all things in this country. We have the money. We just need the willpower, political will. Okay, police interrogates journalists over reports on SDG office. A mother of 4 hit by stray bullets during protests seek justice. Okay, any other story from here? Speaker bows to pressure, withdraws bill on new national anthem recitation. Wow. Okay. And then Daily Times is next. Daily Times is next. National security, a top priority of my administration, says Tinubu. Okay, the other day that the Petros went to meet him, he said it was the economy that is his top priority. Now it's national security. Okay, restates federal government's commitment to invest substantially in military-industrial complex. Okay, political statements. Salary fixing allegation. Akpabio's NAS undermines RMFAC article, says Nigerians are hungry, poor, and insecure. And you are going home with this huge amount of money. Federal government assures content creators of adequate compensation. Is it with this one that the telecom providers are asking us to get ready for load shedding? So how do you do it if it is not, if there's no shedding for your side? Identity theft. Sanwo-Olu seeks robust data protection. Okay, that's all coming from this. But do we still have another paper of interest? A whole lot of them still here. Okay, Guardian newspaper. Let's just roll all of them and then start talking. Southwest, 39 downs moribund over poor maintenance, absolute equipment. talking of dams, farmers are complaining of droughts, and then we are saying that the dams should supply them water, and they're now telling us that 9 of the dams are moribund. This is Nigeria. We can no longer afford further hikes in interest rates. Manufacturers warn. Yeah, you mentioned that, Sosi. And this one, government begins implementation of a zero duty on selected food items. They beginning or ending. Okay, WHO declares mpox outbreak a global health emergency. 18 die in 3 road crashes along Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Too bad. This Guardian is too busy this morning, so let's look at Tribune. Tribune newspaper. Confusion triggers fresh debates over senators' pay. We have seen that story. Okay. Any other paper? Blueprints. Okay. To arrest hunger, federal government rolls out guidelines on zero duty for food items. And this other one that they started that, just captured my interest, sending troops to the farms to protect the farmers and their farm. Okay. Okay, I think that's all we're going to take from the papers. Let's get talking, Osi.
Yes, please.
Of the stories.
Yeah, I would like to start with the issue of the monthly pay of members of the National Assembly.
Okay.
I've been harping on it over the years that it is if we are really sincere about improving the lot of Nigerians, we need to look into this issue of minimum wage and who it affects. I believe that it will not be asking for too much if Nigerians insist that this minimum wage cuts across all public offices, from the presidency down. Because the truth of the matter is that members of the National Assembly, many of them have their businesses. Many of them are already made for life, all right? And I don't think that if they are placed on minimum wage, just like every other person in Nigeria, that they are going to die or they are not going to be functional again. I believe it's going to make them sit up. I don't understand how we are talking of below 100,000 naira minimum wage for every other citizen, and then members of the National Assembly who don't meet up to a week in a month, who don't work up to 2 weeks in a month, and they are earning over 1 billion naira every month cumulatively. So it doesn't make sense. I think Nigerians need to start agitating against this obscene amount of money that members of the National Assembly are earning, all right? And let us know, because we know there are persons amongst them who do not even have their university certificates. Many of them did not attend higher institutions. Many of them stopped at, several of them stopped at secondary school. Let them earn the wage that is due them for the level of academic qualification that they have. I believe that's the way of making things fair to all concerned. So if we don't start that conversation right now, things will continue going out of place. We know that these are the people who determine the pay of practically every other person. They are the lawmakers. But to have the presidency there to check their activities, why is the presidency not talking about this? So I believe one of the ways Tinubu can show Nigerians that he is really sincere about, changing the narrative of Nigeria is to look into the pay of members of the National Assembly and to look into his own pay. If Tinubu decides, just like Trump did during his time, that he's not going to be paid anymore, let all the money is meant for his office, his monthly salary, go into sectors that need it. I believe that Nigeria will be way better, and Nigerians will now start being more confident in his leadership. So, and I'm really, really appalled at Senator Akpabio with the way he's handling the National Assembly. I'm not really sure that he's showing that he's empathic enough to Nigerians and the teething problems of the Nigerian citizenry. I'm looking forward to the day when his people who gave him that mandate are going to call him back. But I've never seen any member of the House of Rep or House of Senate who has been recalled by his people.
Even State House of Assembly.
That has never occurred. But I'm looking forward to, instead of us, ranting on social media, let's start taking some of these democratically approved steps towards checking the activities of these politically appointed persons.
Okay.
Let's organize ourselves and, start writing to recall anybody who feel is not representing our interest over there. And one of them is Senator Akpabio, because some of the statements he makes shows that he doesn't care about what the citizenry feels.
During the protest, he said that you guys will be protesting while they will be inside eating.
And many of them went on vacation within this period that the protest started, all right, to show that they don't care. So some of these things need to be checked. And one of the ways we can take, very decisive step on that is to insist that if we're saying the minimum wage is 70,000 naira, let it cut across all members of all public office holders, from the presidency down. If we do that right now, you see that everybody is going to sit up and things will start working out well for us as Nigerians.
Okay. There's this other story before we go. Speaker bows to pressure, withdraws bill on new national anthem recitation.
I mean, like how preposterous can it get? You can't start talking of, reciting of national anthem when people have not even fed well. We are talking about stunted growth of persons from 5 years and below in the north.
In Kano, yes.
All right? Why hasn't any lawmaker from that part of the country talked about the issue of population explosion happening there, whereby you see one person getting married to 4, 5, 6 wives, meanwhile he's probably a cobbler, all right? And these 4, 5, 6 wives might be having like 7 kids each. Multiply it and tell me how much it will take to fend for these children. And that's why many of them roam the streets, and many of them are victims of radicalization and all whatnot. So let's start talking about, let's start talking about making policies that would influence our flagrant rearing of kids. All right? Let's start talking about policies that would influence our flagrant marrying of wives. With the economic situation right now, I'm not sure that it's economically wise for somebody to marry more than one wife right now. I'm not sure it is really economically feasible for any Nigerian right now to talk about having more than 4 kids.
Some guys say they're not going to marry at all. That they have not been able to take care of themselves. How would they take care of wife and children?
That is facing reality, all right? So, and the reason they are saying this is because some persons have already gotten married to more than one wife and have given birth to more than 10 kids. And you see these kids, they start sending out these kids to members of their family who probably are better to do than them. And this poses more economic problem to these persons. So these are some of the ways we shoot ourselves on the foot as a country, and we say we want to combat our economic strait. All right? If we want to really get it right, these are some of the policies that we're expecting our lawmakers to start making, not telling us that if you don't say the national and the new national anthem, that probably you will not get a job or whatever.
Frivolities. 149 Nigerians repatriated from Niger. What's going on with these two countries?
Well, the thing is, Niger Republic has been known as, one of the countries that have in recent times faced some government toppling of their democratically elected government. I think right now it's the military government that is in charge in Niger Republic. And we know how, because of the population explosion in Nigeria and the not friendly economic situation of Nigeria, Nigerians have been known to invade some other countries looking for greener pastures, and many of them who don't have any skilled job experience go over there and start posing
criminal activity.
Yeah, start posing threats to these societies. So I won't be surprised to hear of such things happening, even in a country as poor as Niger Republic, because you can't compare Nigeria with Niger Republic economically wise.
And now Niger is deporting Nigerians.
And now Niger is deporting Nigeria. How embarrassing can that be?
The mighty falling.
It doesn't really make sense. So I encourage the Nigerian government, the agency that is involved, to start looking at how to rehabilitate these persons that have been deported. There are lots of things to do in Nigeria, lots of handwork that nobody is doing. Like we're talking about CNG, introduction of CNG vehicles. And we don't have enough hands, we don't even have people who know how to...
No technician that knows how to... No technical know-how.
How to take care of these vehicles when they break down.
CNG.
So we have a lot of things that our youths can engage in here. Let's start engaging them. Let's start training them on things like this. I look forward to the day when some of these lawmakers would start sending their members of constituency to countries like China to go and learn how to, build cars, how to repair things, how to do some of these jobs that pays on a daily basis. This is a good way of empowering them. That's why we'll continue to miss late Senator Dr. Patrick Ifeanyi, because he's one person who showed genuine interest in the youth. He will send hundreds of youths to abroad to engage in one skill training or the other, and they will come back and they will become better, members of the society. So people like this are very rare to find.
Too bad.
In Nigeria.
Okay, we're going to conclude with this story. Prices skyrocket as petrol scarcity bites harder, and then marketers blame supply shortage, and NPC gives mum.
Yeah, Dangote had been crying over what he called what was that term he used for the group whose job is continue to fight against the government policy that is geared towards improving the quality of petrol in Nigeria and the quantity of petrol in Nigeria. We know that there are lots of persons who had been gaining a lot from this issue of fuel scarcity in the country. There was even an allegation that many of these people in power, they have refineries outside the country, and that is why they've continued to sabotage any effort to have our own refineries within Nigeria. So some of these secrets are becoming known, and I'm waiting for the federal government to respond to this and to start holding whoever it is that is responsible to book. It's high time we started telling ourselves the truth in Nigeria. We know the persons who are constituting nuisance to Nigerian economy, to Nigerian society. Let these persons be held accountable, all right? Tinubu is known as a Jagaban. I'm not sure there's anybody he is scared of, that he's afraid of, or anybody that can, that he would not want to, hold accountable for whatever ill that the person is doing. And I'm looking forward to when he will say, okay, yeah, I'm willing to leave a good legacy for myself. I've gained everything I'm supposed to gain economically, politically. Let me now start doing the right. Let me now start calling all these people to order. I'm looking forward to when that's going to happen. And once that happens, Nigeria will really be a better country to live in. And people will stop leaving the country in their droves.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ostar Eze, for joining us this morning to look at the pages of the newspaper. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, and that's where we're drawing the curtain on today's edition of the program. God keeping us tomorrow will be around to continue from where we stopped today. Thank you for joining us. My name is Ijoma. Do join us again later in a few minutes to look at the grand finale of the 2024 UNIZIK Visually Impaired Students Week. That's what we are called out to do this morning with the theme, Not Defined by Disabilities. You wouldn't want to miss this. Do stand by, please.